Hello, friends of Komodo platform, friends of Pirate Chain and Bitcoin, crypto price charts. I'm Giuliano. It is the 31st of December, 2021. That's right, the last day of the year. Welcome to the end of the year. Thanks for being here. And I hope you are doing well, ready to transition into saying 2022 instead of 2021. Yeah, so I'm going to share the screen and enjoy the last bits of December as we've got them. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We'll take a look at KMD. We'll take a look at Pirate Chain. Let's move right into the Bitcoin price chart. So what have we got here? On a weekly level, sideways, potentially down. I'm going to look here. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I want to look at this here using getaurox. Let's load this chart layout here, the test 2. So what's going on BTC? Well, we're squeezing in between the 200 period moving average, 200-day moving average on this chart, and this uptrending support line. So looks like we might get squeezed below this line and make our next move down. In fact, on the weekly time frame, the impulse is looking quite reasonable. I'm going to take a look on the other chart when we look at the flat pattern version, but basically this is where we're at, and at any time here it looks like we can squeeze lower. Are we going to go into a negative momentum here on the MACD, or are we going to bump back up to a bit more positive first? In the Bollinger Band here, we are starting to flatten out, narrow out eventually here. So, and we're on the lower end of it. So there's a good chance the next move is to the downside. However, there is still that possibility that we've come to the bottom of the band here. We've retested the bottom of the band area and are ready to go forward and up. So we'll see. But I think overall, the bias is still to the downside. And even if it gives a little bit of the upside first. So if we look at the 4-hour time frame and say, all right, yeah, look, we just impulsed down from the top of the band down to the expanded band bottom through the Ichimoku cloud below the 20 period average. We were rejected by the 200 period average. So it looks like there will be some more time below here and we will continue further down. That's the sense that I get. And overall, I guess we can do it on this chart. It looks like it's currently the thesis is we're doing some form of a 1. I'll look at the color. I'll get that in a second. 1 and a 2. And now we are potentially starting this 3, wherever that's going to lead us, which, and then maybe the 4 and then the 5. Something like that. Like this is definitely a potential here. Okay, so that's what we're watching for. And time-wise, if we were to take this whole 1 and 2 as like the big move, and then we would have something more fast down, and everyone's saying, oh, maybe that's the end, and boom, it like finally on the 5th wave takes it out for everybody. So it's like it makes sense that this would take longer, and then boom, oh my gosh, oh, we're rallying, but oh no, what's going to happen? And boom, oh, this is terrible, and then off to the races is definitely a good potential in my opinion, just because it would do the most damage, it would get the most panic, and it would offer an opportunity for the market to get in at quite good levels, lower and lower, and then just shoot off so hard before allowing, really what I think it is about leverage positions. So it has to be a situation where you can severely take out shorts, at the same time not give a chance for long positions to build significantly, and you're able to just keep going much higher, faster. Yeah, so that's generally the idea. And when we look at the time, if we look at something like this here, we're talking roughly 61.8% if we were to combine the 3rd and the 5th waves, the 3, 4, and 5 waves. would be like 61.8% of this whole 1 and 2 move. So potential there. And if we're going to go 1-to-1, where like the 1 and 2 is matched by 3, 4, 5 in a 1-to-1 fashion, then we're coming around towards this February timeframe here. So that's the kind of idea we're looking at on a 4-hour scale. Yeah, so that's Bitcoin 4-hour price chart. Let's get a better look at the other chart. Now, first though, I want to show this weekly option. We're still within this potential here, and we could just be making some sort of sideways move, touch the triangle lower support here, and move higher, of course. But I think right now the bias is definitely to the downside. I want to notice the difference between, let's say, this 3-wave move here, this zigzag pattern here, and this move we've got here. I don't think we've made a completed zigzag. If anything, it looks more like an impulse pattern, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type of pattern. And now maybe we're in that 2, or we're done the 2 on the weekly, and we're making now for the 3. Does that make sense? So like we showed before, it's, you know, something like this. And I think it goes into here around like the levels that we might make here. And then we're down into here, you know, for the final move. And I think we were going to color this. No, we want this. Yep. And we are going to allow for the wave. Okay. So generally, that's why I'm saying we might even, you know, in a weekly time frame, we could close again up towards a 50 level on a weekly, and then come further back down into that 3rd wave. So we might still be making a 2-wave, or we might be done and already into the 3-wave. And again, that's why I'm saying in the 4-hour, it looks likely that maybe we are starting that 3-wave, because, you know, possibly we could have some form of either complex combination here, or we could just have completed a flat type of pattern on a 4-hour level, where, you know, the price makes a move here on an A wave, here on a B wave, and here on a C wave, which the C wave does look like it could be an impulsive move with a pretty weak 5th wave here. And yeah, so then now we're starting this impulse, and that looks pretty decent, that we've just getting started for that impulse. So I think that's the sense that I'm getting here. So I hope that makes sense for you. On a daily time frame, it's like, yeah, we made maybe a 1 wave here. We're making the 2. Are we done the 2 yet? Maybe not, maybe yes. This is kind of the pathway. That's what I'm looking for here. The other option is we just kind of squeeze down this way, and it ends up being something a little bit more like this, where it just kind of fizzles down and then bang, it's gone, you know, similar to here. So that's possible. Yeah, we'll see. Bias to the downside. Now, that's when we look at the, hold on, let's get rid of this. Okay, next, when we, hey, are you watching this on the 1.5 or 1.75x speed? Maybe it's going faster for you, or are you watching on normal speed? Just let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Okay, so here's that idea of the downside bias. Like this for now is still the #1 possibility, and just in my amateur and non-professional opinion. None of this is financial advice. But I get the sense it's nice and clean for this 1 wave on a closing basis. And we have a wick low. If we are using actual intra-week pricing and day pricing, then we have a wick low down to the 42K level for this first potential wave here. And now we've gotten to the top here at the 2nd wave. I've put in a channel, top of this channel here for the 2nd wave potentially. And now we're beginning potentially this 3rd wave. So we'll see what that looks like. In an impulse pattern, where the 1st wave is the extended wave, generally it has this kind of triangular channeling. So this is why I've traced it out this way. I also give us the channel, the parallel channel, just in case on a closing basis it kind of falls into here. It also has allowed me to combine actually the Fibonacci extensions with these levels. So I did it on the previous video, do it again. Let's say we roughly come from here as the beginning of this first wave to here, and now we make the second wave. We can say, okay, there's a good chance this third wave is going to end around a 61.8% of that. And so roughly around the 39,000 level or around like 38,000 level, depending how you're really counting it. But it's going to be, you know, a region, and we can look at other retracements. For example, this 78.6 retracement here, which kind of relates to it. So there's a good chance it could be around that level. Maybe it'll be higher relating to the channel and around the 40,000 level. Yeah, and then if we were to take, if we were to take the move and then say, all right, there's a good chance if the 3 comes down here, the 4 will come back up here probably to this previous resistance area or support turn resistance area. It'll also probably relate with something along the Bollinger Bands. Well, on a 20-week, maybe not, but you know, maybe we'll get the cloud action helping here. It goes into the cloud, comes back to the top of the cloud, goes down to the bottom of the cloud finally, and then it can rocket out of there. That's a good chance. I do see the cloud as being a good support for the price. So that, at least we have that going for us. Anyway, if we were to take this level here, this kind of 43 level as that new resistance, maybe we get the 4th wave ending there somewhere. Now this is all just speculation for the price to end around here. Maybe the price needs to end later, so it just, the time wise, it expands and goes longer. Anyway, around 38.2% of this first wave would be the 36,000 level. Yeah, so, and which is still around that 78.6 zone. And so whatever, I think roughly those kinds of areas, maybe 36K, maybe the top of this kind of price action here, here is a decent area to call as like a final capitulation, 5th wave move. So there you go. None of this is guaranteed. It's not a call I'm making. I'm just saying, you know, probability wise, it feels like it's a good move to make, and it just follows with this whole monthly flat pattern macro looking with a subdivided B wave. It's just, yeah, just feels right. Anyway, we'll see. Anything's possible here. Now, back to the daily price chart. It's like, okay, there's a lot of channeling potential here. I don't want to get into too much of that, but basically, you know, from that original channel, we broke out of it, we came back down, we're still above it, we found it as support. So we're going to see what the price does. That's why this secondary channel based on this, based on these highs, and then these lows here. However, it's not quite perfect, but there you go, something like that. That way, we've now taken into account the new high that we've gotten, and now we're making a fatter channel to potentially see, and that's how we get this kind of 3 and this 4 and this 5 area, because the 3 touches on the channel, the 4 touches on the channel is cool. The 5 touches here in the middle of the channel where it doesn't have to end on one of the bands of the channel, upper and lower. So that's the kind of idea. Maybe it works this way, maybe not. That's fine. Okay, I think that's basically the idea right now for the Bitcoin price for me. Yeah, let's watch it unfold. Okay, that's where we are. And in terms of that 4-hour time frame, just to look once again, as we said, potentially moving into a third wave now. And I get the sense that the third wave will be just quick and violent, take people out, and then chop around. And then by then it'll be expected, oh yeah, okay, there's a good chance we can keep going down, maybe, or hopefully maybe people will say, hopefully we're done. But either way, the market will not know what to do. It'll probably dump one more time based on an Elliott wave logic. We'd have a fifth wave. Now, that's of course assuming I'm counting things correctly and looking at them in the right degree with the right idea. There's a chance that I'm not seeing it correctly. Generally, I don't see it correctly, in my opinion. I just have some reasonable ideas that sometimes they play out that way. But the logic seems to be working fine so far, and the only problem is that nothing is certain, and so we just have to watch it play out. Okay, so far so good is the general sentiment. All right, next we are going to look at some KMDs. KMD is looking good on a certain level here. We're into the 1600 Satoshis level. We had another wick up in the candles. Here, the daily price candles are really trying to test this downtrending resistance level, isn't it? Again, the yesterday's candle there, the 30th of December candle, but it is a nice engulfing candle, bullishly engulfing, taking out, in fact, oh beauty, taking out two previous candles, two previous red candles, nicely engulfed by the third, which is a green candle. And now we're taking a pause. Beautiful. What I like here is, even though the price went all the way up here, it came back down. It didn't really affect the top of the Bollinger Band yet. So there's definitely an opportunity for the price to just continue impulsing higher now that it's at the top of the band. The other danger is that, okay, well, possibly it just needs to take a cooling period, maybe one candle, maybe two. But the other danger is, no, we are done here. We can't sustain this. It goes down, and then it goes to the bottom of this Bollinger Band. And then the danger from there is lower prices, like if you're considering that a danger. And the other idea is that, you know, sometimes KMD looks like it's setting up to go, and then things in the overall market turn, and then KMD price turns the other way, and it dumps and wrecks. So it's not necessarily to be trusted, but generally the bias remains to the upside. It has been this direction, and the chart is playing out in that direction. So all we can say is, yeah, what we thought was happening seems to be happening, and this bullish engulfing candle is either a huge tease or is an idea of things to come, and an example of the direction that the chart will continue. Okay, so there you go. I think that's really all I wanted to say on the daily price chart. Is just this candle is a good candle to consider. The Bollinger Band is narrowing, so watch out, but at the same time, it looks like we're primed to squeeze higher again. Anything on the MACD? Yeah, you know, either this is going to just be a weak little positive momentum, or we're going to get something a bit more sustained, at least a few more green days coming up. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame, yeah, 4-hour time frame, you know, who knows what type of thing we've got going on here. We might end up getting some bearish divergence if we don't make more positive momentum. We're getting bearish divergence, and I think, yeah, it's clear this would be the end of the move. Okay, on a closing basis here, right? Bearish divergence on this MACD histogram. Okay, you see it from the top here and then to the top here. And that corresponds with this top here and this top here. So yeah, but as long as the price can continue higher, that's fine. The problem is right now, it's squeezed between the 20 and the 200. It's above the 20, but below the 200. It's below the Ichimoku cloud. So it is meeting this resistance. It has been fighting in the Ichimoku cloud this whole time, which is great. I remember saying, oh, maybe it's going to have to go down and then come back up. But it went up and in and across. And squirted out here as the cloud went higher, but then that took that space and went higher. Now it's still fighting there. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I think again the bias is in the favor of the KMD price going higher. Let's see, it's getting squeezed by 20 and the 200. It'll pop above the 200 and then the 20 will follow, and then we can see if we can form some sort of base and go further. That would be nice. Also, it would get above this Ichimoku cloud. I do see a good opportunity here for the price to go higher as previously stated. So we'll see what happens. You know, we're getting a nice uptrend. Let's keep that going in terms of the RSI. Oops. Yeah, we'll see. It's either now, you know, like it's either going to go or not, and then it's done for a while. So don't get your hopes up, okay? But I like it. That's about it. We'll be coming up to the end of the week soon. Oh, also what I wanted to mention, yeah, when we look at it on a closing day, I'm glad we're looking at the line chart. On a closing basis, you can see it even better. It's like, boom, made a higher high, and now we made an even higher high. And so I think, yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. We broke above the 20-day moving average, came back down, tested the region, and moved higher, made a higher high. We're at the top of the Bollinger Band. We haven't breached it yet on a closing basis like this or like this. Okay, so yeah, I like what I see. I like what I see. Let's go KMD. However, yeah, no, just a better condition. The higher highs make a big difference. Okay, so just watch this trend right now. This is kind of where the question is. Okay, watch this trend. So it's either we're going or we still have more correction to go here. Let's see. I get the sense in the next day or so we're gonna know for sure. Yeah, so keep an eye on it, friends of KMD. Okay, that's a good trend line to watch. Let's go to the 4-hour and plot it. That's this trend line right here. Okay, this is an important trend line, in my opinion, to hold, and it'll tell us when the price is reaching its next correction. But by then, it'll be might be obvious, or at least price will have come down a lot. Because we'll see. Anyway, let's watch it. Okay, this is a trend line to watch. Until next time, that's the KMD price chart. We go back to the daily. Get out of here. And let's move over to the Pirate Chain. Only thing really to say about Pirate Chain is a couple things. One is an opportunity to move down to 16,000 Satoshis, sorry, 1,600 Satoshis level. Okay. You know, imagine you're going to get Pirate Chain at 1-to-1 with Komodo, KMD. Interesting. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. My guess now is, though, as we went above the 20-period average, okay, it looked like we were rounding, and we did. And when Pirate Chain seems to go up, come back down, and just round, I think that's a pretty clear sign that it's dealing with a big, scary fish. And it's going to duck underneath sometimes. No, I'm kidding. But I'm serious. Like up, down, round, down. It looks like we're going to try and test the lows and make sure we're good. So maybe we come back down, test this type of previous resistance line as support, and then we can move higher. That's the best case scenario. The other, and that would also be kind of relating with the bottom of the Bollinger Band there. This is a daily price chart. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let's just zoom right in. Yeah, so that would be like relating with this Bollinger Band right here. So we'll see if that ends up happening. The other option is that it goes down further, where we get like a 1-to-1 like this, and it brings us down to the 16,000 Satoshis level around here. So for example, if we go to the line chart and we say, all right, look. Oops. Let's take the weekly price and say, oh, not again. Let's take the weekly price. Look, by the way, I I like the way these things are setting up overall, but there's still a chance to get down to the 1600 Satoshis level if we had, you know, one of these where we had this move here, one of these, then one of these, then we had, one of these, and then we have one of these, and then we have one of these. They get smaller, but maybe we need one more of those. Okay, a third one. We have the 1, the 2, and the 3. I'll show them to you again. We have 1, we have another one here, and we have another one here, potentially. Does that make sense? With these intermediate corrective waves in between. So that's the other potential. So if we're not just coming back to retest, if we're not just coming back to retest these previous lows here, then yeah, then we're going down for that next move down to about the 1600 Satoshis level. And we get that by taking a fib extension tool, going to the top here, going to the bottom here, taking it to, let's potentially say this would be the end of that wave, fine. And if we get a little closer, we see, I'll do that again for you, but basically 1 to 1 is around the 16. 1618 is a little scary because it breaks this uptrend, and that's really what we want to hold overall. So 1600 ain't so bad as long as you don't break this uptrend here. Okay, and 1600 makes sense if we got one more zigzag to do. Now, even better would be 2000 Satoshis. That would be at about a 61.8%. And that would be a weaker move on this final C wave of this ABC zigzag type of pattern. And then you could hop out of there, just spring out of there. Okay, so just to show again, and you can see that the dot here at this level, you have the dot here at this level. And then you have the line here with the dot here at this level, okay? That corresponds to your A wave, your B wave, and now you're measuring your C wave in relationship using this extension tool. Okay, so we'll see. We have those two options for Pirate Chain. That's basically it. I think that's reasonable. So until next time, that's it also for the Pirate Chain price chart. Okay. There is holding strong at the 1500 Satoshis. And I think that's about it for today. Happy New Year. Maybe I'll come back with another video today, but other than that, wishing you all the best. And until next time, all the love, peace, and happiness to you in this coming year. And stick around, keep watching these videos. I hope that they're entertaining and educational, enjoyable, gives you something to think about and all that good stuff. And if you just need a reminder to stay hydrated, drink lots of water and all that, well, you come to the right place. Okay, take care. Goodbye.